Let's get started with our first news. Islam Makhachev is rooting for Dustin Poirier. In a surprising yet heartfelt show of support, Islam Makhachev has openly expressed that he's pulling for Dustin Poirier in his upcoming clash against Max Holloway. With the fight scheduled for tomorrow, this bout is generating a ton of buzz, and the fact that it's likely Poirier's final fight makes it even more significant. In a recent interview, Makhachev was asked who he thinks will take the win. Without hesitation, he responded, "100%, I will root for Dustin. He's my guy. I will root for him." That kind of loyalty stands out in today's MMA landscape, where friendships can be rare in a game so competitive and intense. He further revealed that the two fighters text each other frequently, indicating a close and respectful relationship that has grown over time, despite the fact that Makhachev and Poirier previously shared the octagon as opponents. That respect has clearly evolved into a mutual bond. Speaking about Poirier's mindset heading into what could be his last walk to the cage, Islam added, "This is his last fight. I think he will come out at his peak." That's a powerful statement. Fighters often say they want to leave the sport on their own terms, and Poirier, a seasoned veteran with an iron will and a warrior's heart, seems set to do exactly that. And having a current lightweight champion like Makhachev in your corner, even spiritually, is no small thing. As for how the fight might play out, Makhachev broke it down with keen insight, saying he expects it to be a technical battle rather than a brawl. "I wish him luck, and I think he will win. I think a decision win. It's hard to finish both of them. Both can take a punch well." He's got a point. Both Poirier and Holloway have showcased incredible durability over the years. Neither man is easily put away, and they've both survived 5-round wars with some of the best fighters in the world. According to Islam, that's why a finish might be unlikely. Neither of them have a very powerful knockout punch, but they hit accurately. He emphasized that this will be a stand-up heavy strategic fight, with both men known for their crisp boxing and clean combinations. In Islam's words, "Both work more in the stand-up. I think it will be technical. Who will outplay who?" That question, who will outplay who, is the central theme going into this matchup. Makhachev's support adds another emotional layer to this already exciting bout. Whether or not Dustin Poirier wins, the fact that he's earned the respect and backing of one of the most dominant fighters in the UFC says a lot about his legacy. And tomorrow, the world will be watching to see if the diamond can shine one last time. Moving on to our next update, Paulo Costa ends in a warning to Chimaev, who has reignited the flames of his long-standing rivalry with Khamzat Chimaev. Even though Costa is set to face Roman Kopylov this weekend, his eyes are still locked on a future showdown with Khamzat, a clash that fans have been anticipating for a while now. During Thursday's pre-fight press conference, Paulo Costa didn't shy away when asked about Khamzat. He delivered a message that had fight fans buzzing. "Yes, you guys know about that already. Everybody knows about that. I have a, mutual hate after this fight. I'm gonna send a message for him." Those words alone were enough to stir up hype, but Costa wasn't finished there. He made it clear that while his immediate goal is to defeat Kopylov, he hasn't forgotten about the man he believes he has unfinished business with. "Until then, you need to wait and watch. My focus right now is on this guy, so I need to focus on him. But of course, I have a plan after that. I have unfinished business with him. Yes, I'm going to face him sooner or later." This isn't just typical pre-fight trash talk. The bad blood between Costa and Chimaev has been simmering for quite some time. The two nearly came to blows in the past during UFC Fight Week, with multiple verbal exchanges and tense face-to-face encounters. That tension has yet to be resolved, and Costa is clearly still carrying that energy with him. However, fans watching the press conference noticed something else. Costa appeared to be visibly shaking on stage during portions of his media appearance. Whether it was adrenaline, nerves, or something else, it was enough for many to comment on it across social media. And of course, Khamzat Chimaev wasted no time in responding. Taking to X, formerly Twitter, Khamzat reacted to Costa's apparent shaking, using it as an opportunity to mock his rival and throw fuel on the fire. Though his exact post was short, the intent was clear. Khamzat is watching closely, and he's ready to step into the chaos if the moment comes. This brewing rivalry feels like it's heading toward an eventual showdown. Costa, known for his power and intensity, and Chimaev, with his ruthless grappling and fearless attitude, would make for an explosive and emotionally charged matchup. It's not just about rankings anymore, it's personal. Whether Costa handles business against Kopylov this weekend or not, the UFC knows that a Costa vs Chimaev fight would sell. The only question now is how soon can it happen? Stay tuned, things are heating up fast. Let's move on to another headline. Bryce Mitchell send is a warning to Merab Dvalishvili. While most MMA fans have their eyes locked on the anticipated matchup between Merab Dvalishvili and Corey Sandhagen in the stacked bantamweight division, someone else has entered the conversation, and he's not doing it quietly. That man is none other than Bryce Mitchell, and he's making headlines ahead of his bantamweight debut by sending a clear warning to Merab and the rest of the division. Speaking to MMA Junkie ahead of his upcoming bout against Said Magomedov in Abu Dhabi, Bryce made it known that he's not just dropping down and wait for a fresh start. He's coming to take over, and he believes the division desperately needs a shakeup. "I think it needs to be spiced up a little bit," he said. "It just needs somebody like me in there to shake things up, and I can almost promise you I'm gonna shake things up." That's classic thug nasty energy. Confident, unfiltered, and completely fearless. Mitchell has always brought a wild card vibe to the featherweight division, and now he's ready to bring that same chaos to bantamweight. And while most fighters might focus on climbing the ranks slowly, Bryce already has his sights set on one of the most dangerous men in the weight class, Merab Dvalishvili. "They need something exciting right now," he continued. "Because let's be honest, nobody's gonna beat Merab. Who's gonna beat Merab? You're gonna have to call somebody that can beat him. Because right now, literally nobody can. So they're going to realize that they need a guy like me. Here I am. Call me." That's a direct challenge. And it's clear that Mitchell isn't just hyping himself up, he's calling for war with one of the most relentless fighters in MMA today. Merab Dvalishvili is riding an incredible winning streak and is widely considered one of the most dominant forces in the bantamweight division, known for his cardio pressure and volume wrestling. And Mitchell, he's ready to step into that storm. Interestingly, Bryce also predicted that Merab is going to steamroll Corey Sandhagen if and when that fight finally happens. So far, no official announcement has been made, and the UFC hasn't locked in a date for the highly anticipated showdown between Merab and Sandhagen. But Mitchell clearly isn't waiting for that result. He's already preparing to step in and take on the man no one else wants. With his outspoken confidence, wild grappling skills, and fearless attitude, Bryce Mitchell's move to bantamweight adds a whole new layer of excitement to an already stacked division. Whether or not he gets his shot at Merab anytime soon, one thing's for sure, the division has officially been put on notice. Stay tuned. Thug Nasty is coming for war. Moving on to another news story, Dustin Poirier says he initially requested to fight Justin Gaethje. As Dustin Poirier gears up for what could be the final fight of his legendary career, a high-stakes clash against Max Holloway, he's revealing some behind-the-scenes details that fans hadn't heard before. In a recent interview, Poirier opened up about how this fight came together and how his original plan didn't actually involve Holloway at all. In fact, Poirier wanted a trilogy fight with Justin Gaethje to settle their epic rivalry once and for all. "So he wasn't my pick," Poirier said honestly. "I was asking for the third Gaethje fight. That would have been a fitting end to one of the UFC's most exciting rivalries, with both men holding one win over the other in two unforgettable wars. A trilogy fight for the BMF title would have added even more weight to what was already a legacy-defining matchup." But when that didn't come together, the UFC presented him with another option, a fight with Max Holloway, the former featherweight king. And for Poirier, even though it wasn't his first choice, it quickly started to feel like the right one. "When they brought Max's name up, it just seemed right," Poirier explained. "I was his first fight in the UFC. He's going to be my last. So yeah, putting the BMF in the trophy case, that I'm a BMF forever. You know, I walk out of that cage, get my hand raised, walk out of that cage with the BMF belt, I'm retiring the baddest MFer." And while Poirier admitted with a smile that he'd prefer an easy win, he knows that's unlikely with someone like Max. He said he's fully prepared for a 5-round war, just like the one they had back in 2019 when Poirier beat Holloway for the interim lightweight title in a brutal fight of the year candidate. "I have a lot of respect for him as a man and as a fighter, of course," he said. "The things he's done in his career, became champion, BMF champion, undisputed champion, the legends he's beat, he's gonna be in the Hall of Fame. And to get a chance for my last fight to be with somebody I have a lot of respect for, a legend of the sport, is what I wanted." Poirier went on to explain why this matchup excites him so much. "It's not just about names or belts, it's about fighting someone who comes to fight. He's not a guy who's going in there trying to secure takedowns and win rounds." Poirier said, He's going in there to finish guys and put on a fight, and that's what I respect about guys like him. So I want to fight. I want to meet that with the same energy, and we're gonna throw down. This might be the end of the road for the Diamond, but he's making sure to go out the only way he knows how, swinging, scrapping, and chasing greatness. Now let's move on to Ronaldo Mota, who fires back at Backlash. Ronaldo Mota has recently found himself in the center of a heated online debate after revealing that he turned down a $200,000 payout from the UFC antitrust lawsuit settlement. The news quickly made waves in the MMA community, and the backlash from fans online was swift. Many couldn't understand why a fighter would willingly walk away from that kind of money, especially in a sport where pay issues are constantly discussed. But Moicano, never one to hold his tongue, has officially responded. Taking to X, formerly Twitter, he fired back at critics and laid out his reasoning in a way only Moicano could: direct, unapologetic, and thought-provoking. "I'm amazed by how many people are cursing me out for my decision to not take the money from the lawsuit against the UFC," he wrote. "I believe those who are criticizing me haven't stopped to think about something simple. You shouldn't need a contract for your word to mean something." That line immediately caught attention. In a world where contracts and legal loopholes dominate the sports business, Moicano is making a moral argument, suggesting that integrity, not legal language, should be the standard by which fighters operate. It's a bold position, especially in an era where many fighters are fighting just to get fair pay. He went on to explain his mindset further. "I agreed to the terms of the contract at the time. That money was a huge deal for me. I don't expect the UFC to acknowledge this. The UFC is a company, and a company is focused on productivity. I'm doing this for myself and for the things I believe in." It's clear that for Moicano, this decision is about personal values, not just about the money. He's acknowledging that while the UFC may not be perfect, he willingly entered into an agreement, and to go back and take settlement money now would feel like going back on his word. He didn't stop there. Moicano also addressed those who strongly disagreed with his stance, saying, "If you think I'm wrong, that's okay. That's the beauty of freedom. Everyone has their own life. Ruin it however you want." That sentence, half sarcastic, half sincere, sums up Moicano's no-nonsense personality. He's not asking for agreement or praise. He's simply making it clear that he's choosing to stand on principle, even if that means walking away from 200. He added one more critical point, highlighting some of the UFC's more controversial policies. "I don't agree with a lot of the things the UFC does, for example, not allowing fighters to put their sponsors on their fight shorts. But when I signed the contract, I accepted those terms. If you're not satisfied, you can simply choose not to sign the contract." In a time when many fighters are pushing back against the UFC's structure, Ronaldo Moicano's stance stands out, not because he's attacking the UFC, but because he's taking responsibility for his own choices. Love him or hate him, Moicano is staying true to himself, and he's not backing down. And finally, we have an update from Michael Chandler, who had a very interesting message for Conor McGregor. After months of build-up, interviews, speculation, and delays, Michael Chandler seems to have reached his breaking point. The lightweight contender took to X, formerly Twitter, and launched a bold, no-holds-barred message aimed directly at Conor McGregor, and he didn't hold back. In his post, Chandler tagged McGregor and wrote, "At the notorious MMA, everyone has seen you're small. You'll never fight me and always duck me. Drop your balls and not your weight." That's right, Michael Chandler just went full savage mode in public, calling out McGregor's courage, or in his words, lack of it, and accusing him of ducking the fight that fans have been waiting for. And to top it off, he threw a jab about Conor's weight issues, referencing the Irishman's on-again, off-again status at lightweight and his recent talks about jumping up in size or moving divisions. This message instantly blew up across social media, with fans, fighters, and analysts weighing in. Some saw it as classic Chandler hype, intense, emotional, and calculated to provoke a response. Others believe it's a sign that he's tired of waiting and might finally be giving up on the matchup. Let's not forget, this fight between Chandler and McGregor has been teased for well over a year. It was supposed to happen after they coached opposite each other on The Ultimate Fighter, a move that usually leads to a guaranteed bout. But since then, the fight has faced multiple delays, a lack of official announcements, and constant uncertainty around Conor's status with USADA, his training, and his return timeline. In the meantime, Chandler has remained patient and professional in most of his interviews, expressing his eagerness to face McGregor but never crossing the line until now. This latest post shows that his patience is running out and he's ready to start playing McGregor's own game. Trash talk, mind games, and high-stakes taunts in public. Whether this bold call-out will finally provoke a reaction from Conor remains to be seen. So far, McGregor has been silent about the latest comment, but if history tells us anything, the Irishman doesn't usually stay quiet for long when he's publicly challenged, especially with insults this direct. Fans, meanwhile, are loving it. Social media is flooded with reactions, memes, predictions, and renewed hope that this fight might actually happen. It's clear that interest in Chandler versus McGregor is still red hot, and the only thing missing now is a date. Will this savage message finally light the fuse? Only time will tell. And that wraps up today's MMA updates. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe for more breaking stories and fight news. Until next time, stay tuned, fight fans.